Hello, universe. You're watching, listening to FlyBy podcast. I'm your host Reggie. I got my homegirl, the one and only Young Ayo.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Let me go down the list.
Oh.
Motocross, stunner, artist, producer, director, writer. Is there anything else am I missing? Jersey native. Is there anything else that I'm missing out on?
Rapper.
On your rapper? Anything else that I'm missing out on your illustrious titles that you have?
I
that
don't know.
that you be
I
doing
don't
because you be
know.
doing your thing.
I don't know.
You
Yeah, I forget.
know? Are you from Jersey?
Yep.
And you're a biker. Well, I don't know how the right term. I don't want to say biker because that don't sound right.
No.
So what would the right term be if it's not biker?
I'm a rider.
A rider. So how did you get into riding?
My pops bought me my first bike at 4,
Mm-hmm.
and taught me how to ride from there.
Yeah. Now, did you just go straight into motocross, or was it?
No, I went straight to motocross. Yeah.
How long did you do motocross?
I did motocross for like 11, 12 years.
Yeah. So why'd you stop?
'Cause motocross takes time, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You can't be in school. You can't, like, have a life to actually race motocross. You just have to race motocross. You know, the whole family has to be involved. You got to do stuff like that.
Okay.
You got to have, like, mad money.
So when did you switch over to riding? I guess that would be the
Like-
correct term.
Like, stunts and stuff?
Stuff and stuff. Because I see your
yeah,
ID page.
Probably, like, 16.
16.
Yeah.
And how long you been doing that? Okay, so you've been doing that for what, almost 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
What was it like when you first started stunting? What
Shitty.
shitty? Was
Yeah,
there a lot
it
of
was-
crashes? A lot of
Nah, it
foam?
was just it was more shitty because it was just like fear based.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you first start stunting, it's kind of like you're really scared of everything.
Right.
So then that stops you from like trying the stuff that you could be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So like that first year was just trying to knock that fear out and then just basically developing and moving on to different bikes and stuff like that. So.
Okay. So what's your favorite bike then? Even though I don't know anything about bikes, but
my
I
favorite
know
bike CR125.
CR125.
You know, I got a YZ125 too. I raced that, but the YZ's is a nice race bike, but
Okay.
it's not a Cadillac. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay, they got you. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So are you a part of anything when it comes to stunting? Like, is there a crew or is it just
Yeah.
I just hang out with people and do
you
it?
know, I'm straight representing 973 Bike Life. You know
Okay,
what I'm
then.
saying? But I venture all over. You know, I live in North Carolina, so we got the 919 Bike Life out here. You know, the whole Bikes Up, Guns Down. There's just a bunch of movements all over. You know, they got Miami, Philly, Camden. They got New York. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
got DC, Baltimore. They have everywhere. You know, it's pretty much Florida, all that. So it's the whole East Coast, and then you got the West Coast, then you got the Midwest, then
Right.
you got, you know what I'm saying? So it's just all around the world. Then you got the dudes from out of the country. So
Okay. Now, is there any shows that are upcoming or have done?
I did a lot of shows like maybe in the past, like last year, probably like 2-3 years ago. I was doing shows like once a month, once every
wow.
2 months. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I was real updated on shows. But since school started closing in, I had to stop.
Since what?
School started closing in.
Ah, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I went with you. If y'all know, I went with her to 2 in the same day, and
Oh yeah.
and it was complete. When I tell y'all, it was complete opposite day and night. We went to I think it was where were we? Asheville? Was it Asheville when we went to the Harley Davidson one?
Yeah, I think it was Asheville. It was something like that.
Something like
yeah.
that, and it was cool. It was laid back. A lot of white people.
Yeah.
It was a different atmosphere. So I was like, oh, this is what it's like at the oh, okay, this is what it's like. Oh, this is cool. Let me enjoy it. Then we went down to Fade Nah.
Yeah.
Shout out to 910.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, it was a complete
Yeah.
Opposite.
That was that
Was that Apple Chill?
Apple Chill.
That was the first time I've ever been to Apple Chill. I've been in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Damn near half my life.
You won't believe so many people live down here until you go to Apple Chill.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, beyond crowded. I solely remember you just
riding.
Just riding.
In the
was
crowd.
Like, fuck it, I'm riding.
Hoping not to hit people.
Yo.
You know.
People just staring at us while I'm filming, while you just riding. I'm just like, yo, what is going on? And your mom was just like,
just go ahead and go.
Don't even worry about it.
Doesn't care. Not at all.
But yeah, I remember that. That was fun. Now, are there any upcoming shows that you are gonna be doing, like in the near future, or is it just I'm chilling right now?
I'm not doing any shows right now. I'm just trying to graduate. But as far as events, I'll be going to, I think, Orlando next week. I don't know.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, but
now
we're just going, to ride.
Have a good time.
But I don't got no upcoming shows right now.
Okay then. Now, you're a writer.
Yep.
Stunner. And you rap.
Yep.
Now, how did you get into the rap? How did you get into rapping? Was it just, I just want a hobby? Or, because I'm guessing you're into music. Well, obviously, you got to be into music if you want to become a rapper or an artist, period. Is that how it was? Or was it just like...
So, basically, oddly enough, I was into rapping before I started riding bikes.
Okay.
And I used to like make bullshit raps at
right.
school.
Like we all used to do.
But not like freestyling, but like while everybody else is freestyling and shit, I used to just write my shit down, and like that was it.
All right.
And then when I got to like middle school, like I made my pops buy like this dingy ass Radio Shack mic, and I had like this old ass like VZO PC or something like that, and I was just recording on that with Audacity for like the longest until like I got to like the middle of high school, and then like the middle of high school I got my Mac, and then I ended up like spending like all my birthday money on like a mic or something like a real mic,
right?
And then like a board, and I bought a bunch of mismatched parts that
But it worked though, right?
No.
It
didn't. None of the wires were for the, I didn't do my research and, figure out, you know how Amazon is. Oh, this goes with this.
Yeah.
So you just start clicking shit. And, so that's how that went. And I just now recently have been able to put all the equipment that I had bought over the years together because none of the shit was matched up. So, yeah. So that's how I got into it. I used to write raps with my uncle in Jersey and stuff like that. And probably like the first introduction I had to like someone actually sitting down and writing their raps. I used to do this this video series like when I used to live in Greenwood down here. And it was called Coolie Gang. So the episodes, we did about like 14, 15 episodes, and I released them on YouTube, and they'd sit there, freestyle, rap, make music, stuff like that. And it was kind of like a workshop for me, because I wasn't doing none of this stuff, but I seen all the stuff happen, and I was just filming. And I remember this one day, a guy by the name of Young Fizz, he left his rhyme book at my crib.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I, broke the first rule to rhymes, and I read it and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, shit, like, that's how it really happens. All right. Like, nah, this dude is, so after that, I gave it back, obviously.
Of course.
And then, after that, I was just a student to it after that,
All right. Now, are there any influences that you had or do have?
Yeah, so growing up, it was interesting because my family, didn't put me into any musical atmospheres.
Right.
I didn't start knowing about anything music-wise regarding my family till I was 17, 18.
Oh, wow.
Because my pop's side is from Trinidad.
Okay.
Which you would think, the music would be but it's not. And then
okay, yeah, that's weird because Islanders have that.
Exactly,
it's in them. It's born in them.
Yeah, no, these were strict Catholic Trinidadian. Yeah,
wow.
real. Yeah, so they didn't really put any music atmosphere in me. And then my mom's side, I just recently found out they were always full of music, but they never instilled music in me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, like, it was just, I don't know. I found out that when I was older, so it was just like, all right. But, yeah, so real young, the only person that was listening to music around me was my pops. And he was one of the, you know, the people that just go get, like, the newest shit out and, like, play it. So growing up, I was listening to, like, DMX and Game and fucking, like Jadakiss and just, you know, like all the gangster rappers.
Right.
Like when I was like 8 or 9, and that was just it for like until I was like 14. And then when I did the Coolie Gang shit, that's when I got introduced to, you know, the slow down music, the southern type of music.
Okay.
And that's when I first learned about J. Cole and Mac Miller and Nas and fucking, you know, just all the rappers that, you know, aren't on fucking Billboard hundreds every week or so. You know what I'm saying?
The quote unquote non-mainstream. They're mainstream, but they're
mainstream
not,
now. But it was, you know, nobody used to listen to their shit.
And R.I.P. to Mac Miller. You know what I mean?
R.I.P. man. I was filming K97's I was filming their poorhouse special down in Raleigh, and that's when I first heard. They said it on camera.
No.
Yeah, the crowd stopped, and they was like, yeah, what? Like people in the crowd were leaving, and they were like, oh, what happened? And I'm looking at like filming, like, why are these people leaving?
Right.
And the lady's like, yeah, Mac Miller just passed away, and I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah. See, I had gotten the message through my phone. I got the news and I read it and I'm like, what? Mac Miller? Nah, that ain't real. Let me get home. And then people just started hitting me up left and right, like, yo, can you bleed? Da 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 da. I'm like, damn. And Mac Miller I got into Mac Miller late. Like I saw this TV show that he had on MTV.
Oh yeah.
I saw that, but I heard music. My sister used to put me on and I dabbed into it once or twice, but I didn't really get into it until I want to say either his last album or that mixtape got remastered. Right. His first mixtape, I don't know.
Because, I was a Mac Miller fan back when, you know, he had released The Hot Life and Kids and stuff like that. Because that's when, you know, I moved to Greenwood and I was hanging with those guys. And that's what they were listening to. Okay. Like, I went and stole all their songs on their computers and whatever and just dumped them onto mine. And I was just going through them, you know what I'm saying? So, I was a Mac Miller fan back then. And then, you know, as time progressed, it was just all the other artists and shit like that. But yeah, Mac Miller was like one of the first ones to have I don't know, like him and J. Cole. I kind of learned about them at the same time, but they were they were different to me because they were rapping witty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't like gangster rap, and it wasn't like super soft singing rap. It was like
it was right there in that middle.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's where I found my liking to them.
Yeah, I never with J. Cole. I wouldn't have known J. Cole was gonna become a rapper because I didn't know J. Cole. I knew of J. Cole in high school down in Fayetteville because he played basketball for Terry Sanford. Yeah. I played at Southview, so I seen him. He didn't get on the court. I don't know why, coach, whatever, but. And a friend of mine, this guy by the name of John Lee, rest his soul, his sister Amber Lee, they knew J. Cole. So that's how, you know, I saw him in passing or whatnot. But I never knew he was going to be what he is today. Yeah. I didn't even know he was a rapper, blase blah. So it's kind of cool to know. I knew the guy. I knew of the guy. I seen the guy. You know what I mean? I kind of rubbed elbows once in a blue moon when we were, 17 years old, but you know, you're at 16 in high school, 16, 17 in high school, you don't know where the hell your life is gonna go. So when J. Cole came out, I was like, oh shit, I know this motherfucker, like what the fuck? But Mac Miller, like I said, it was a late. Yeah. It was late, and now you know how it is. When someone passes away, that's when you go go back and you listen to everything. You're like, damn, like why I gotta listen to it now? Why wasn't I on it? Yeah. Why he was living? You know what I mean? So yeah, Mac Miller was that guy. I ain't gonna lie, and his personality was. Yeah, dude. He seemed like one of the coolest dudes.
Yeah, but that's the thing about Mac Miller is he would be. You know, with so many artists and, you know, behind the scenes, that you
Right,
niggas
yeah.
ain't know. Like,
Yeah.
and
Facts.
it was like, they was like, oh, Mac Miller fell off. I said, yo, Mac Miller's, he's producing a lot of shit.
Mhm.
Not only producing a lot of shit, he's helping a lot of people in the studio, and he's collaborating with a lot of people, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, there was a point in time where he wasn't really releasing much, and it was probably like around after he had did Macadelic, and after he had did like the shit with Meek Mill when he came out first, like the house party shit,
Yeah.
when he got on the remix and like shit like that. Like after that point, like it was just kind of a slow moment, but he was working on a lot of shit at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then around that same time, that's when he did the MTV show, and that's when, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and I think before he passed, I think he was finally finding. Not saying he didn't know what his niche was, but I think
he was just being more of himself.
I
you
think,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I think
was
that
giving,
he
was
was
giving more of himself to the audience.
Yeah, and I think that's where he was going. I think
Yeah.
his album that came out, it was like that was the album that was gonna even propel him even more than what had already propelled him. Cause Mac was nice. Like I said, I wish I was on him more when he was living. But you know, that's the great thing about music. You can always
go back
and listen to it, and his music is timeless. It's timeless.
Definitely.
It's not.
Yeah, I still listen to his music. You know what I'm saying?
Now, is there anyone else besides the J. Cole and Kendrick, or not Kendrick, but Mac Miller that's in your ear? That's kind of like I like that.
Okay. Because recently, like within the past,
because I know you
2-3 years. Yeah, no.
So for people that don't know, see, I know her. So when it comes to music, yo, she will be listening to something that is still 5 years old. I'll come to her and be like, yo, so did you hear the new such and such? And she's like, nah, I'm still on.
No, you know what it is?
Yo,
I've got the songs. I just don't. I'm not in that space to listen to their new creations if you haven't gone back and listened. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of them you can do in reverse, but it's just like, it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I did that with the artist that I'm you know, growing to now, which is, you know, like the Dave's East and the Big Crit, and I was like real keen to like Wiz Khalifa and Currency, but back then like 2009, 2010. You know what I'm saying? So going back, I had to, you know, Currency dropped like 30 mixtapes, 40, 50 mixtapes in like the past 10 years.
He used to hang out with Wayne, so you know he was into that. Nah, you gotta get something out every week, every month, something.
So Currency doesn't hold on to a lot of stuff for long.
No.
So going back and doing that, and then you know, just recently learning about, you know, like in the past 3-4 years, Big Crit, and going back and going to his archives and you know what I'm saying, getting all his, you know, See Me on Top and like volume 1 through 4, and then just going back to all his old stuff, you know what I'm saying. We could create Cadillactica, you know what I'm saying. Then he had the double album with BB King on there and stuff like that. And then you going back to like Dave V Switches Up North, and he dropped like 15, you know, Harlem mixtapes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And going back all before Black Rose, all before, you know what I'm saying, like
Karma 1, Karma 2,
1 and 2, and Kyrie, and Kyrie Chanel, and like all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay. Yeah, because I'm telling you. And when you get in the car with her, let me tell you, when you get in the car with her, you better have an empty mind. You better not be going through anything, because your mind ain't going to let you, because all she's doing is blasting, is going
now,
in
bro.
music.
I got a 10 and a 12 in the back now.
Whew.
Yeah. I'm about to get 2 12s in the back.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's going. It's just straight. It's straight music. Now, when did you? Now, like I said, I know you. So, and now you're starting to produce.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Yeah, producing a little bit. So, when you began to start producing, was it more so I want to learn by myself, or was it because a lot of these people out here say they'll do it, but then we try to get with them, they don't know what they're doing, or was it a combination of both?
I mean, it was a combination of both, but it was kind of just like copyright.
Right. Okay.
Because I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like I spend, you know, to me it's nothing when I sit in my room and spend 6 hours on, you know, a couple songs.
Right. Yeah, we had to hit that.
You know, to me it's nothing. I could spend like 6 hours on a couple songs or whatever like that, and you know, sit there all day and write them, record them, and then mix them in the same day, and then you know what I'm saying. But to be able to really put everything I got into each song, everything got to be mine. I don't want to go super hard on somebody else's shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather just do all my own stuff. But in order for me to be able to do my own stuff, I have to learn, and I have to sit there and write, and then I have to see how the, you know, the beats are, and, you know what I'm saying, how the melody goes, and how, you know what I'm saying, just the timing, and everything like that, just to learn, you know, the aspects that you need to build your own.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I noticed that you're dabbling more into producing your own stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you put out a mixtape every 2 days.
I mean, listen, this one, man, it's just been eating my soul, like, to not put this out, but, like, I still have people who have to get on it, you know what I'm saying? Not like a verse, like, I have one featured
now,
verse.
what's the name of this one that's getting ready to come out?
This one is called The Land of the Feds.
The Land of the Feds. And the last one
was Southern Comfort.
That's Southern Comfort.
The last one was a trio. It was Black, Southern Comfort, and was Black to Drive Through and Southern Comfort.
There you go. Yeah, because let me tell you, when I come and see her, so I'm listening to the Drive Through. What? Why? I'm been done. What? Wait, you literally just put it out like 3 days ago. What do you mean you're going on to something new?
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
because that's like, those were like, it was kind of like a bundle package. You know what I'm saying? In the span of 1 year, I did, you know what I'm saying, 3 tapes. And that was my goal. I wanted to do 3 tapes in a year, write them, mix them, and put them out. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of my goal, just to learn more of the mixing process. Because like right now, I look back to how I was mixing, and I was mixing off of a Bluetooth speaker from a home sound system. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then now, like a few weeks ago, I finally got my monitors. You know what I'm saying? So this tape is gonna sound completely different from the other ones. But there are still songs that are like iconic for the other ones. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It was all to the good.
Okay. So when is Land of the Feds? Because I know, like I say, Land of the Feds, you'll give me a date, but then it won't come out that date. Well, I scratched like 15 songs. I added 5 songs.
What happened is, I've been through the process of, taken out. First of all, I did 21 songs for this project. Okay. And then I scrapped a lot of them, and then there were 7.
Which becomes an EP, right? Is it EP 7?
I mean, it depends on which platform you're using.
Okay.
You know, because they all call them different things. But this is, I'm releasing it as a mixtape. Like, all these are mixtapes.
It's mixtape, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially because they're not my beats. Okay, so I'm going to use all of them as mixtapes. I don't want to put any albums unless everything is mine. Right. Okay. So, all these are mixtapes. And then, but, you know, the depending on which platform you put them on, some of them call them albums, some of them call EP, whatever. But, so then I scratched this to 7 songs. And then I wanted some more features on it. As, you know, not even if they didn't do verses, just do like talking parts and speaking parts, maybe ad-libs and stuff like that. So then I moved it up to like 8 songs, and then it was like 12 songs, and then I scratched them and then went back to 7, and now I'm at 10. So I think 10 is a nice number. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I have a couple features on it. I have Young RJ, which is my little cousin. I have Rod Sanders. He goes to the school I'm at now. I have A. Keith might be on it. King Doobie. Sebastian Statute. I don't think I'm leaving anybody out, but if I am, I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's mainly it. Like for this project, I just wanted it to be kind of like an all-around project, you know what I'm saying? Then. So there's a lot of different types of songs.
That's what I was about to ask you. Where is it? Because,
I mean, it's, You can kind of say it's like a double side.
Okay.
You know, but it's not really. Like, once you get, like, I'll say this, once you get, like, past the interlude, like, the dynamic changes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, then.
So it was, but, yeah, you're just going to have to listen to it.
To, you know,
the dynamic changes, like, halfway through. But, yeah.
So, you know, when you're going to try to drop this?
I originally wanted to drop it like the beginning of March.
Okay.
But the way people's schedules are made up with these features, so it won't be dropped at the beginning of March. Obviously, it'll probably be dropped. I don't know, whenever. I'm trying to actually have it dropped within the next week, but that's if they finish what they have to do.
What they have to do.
Because everything, as far as on my side, is already mixed. It's already mastered. It's already put in the place it needs to be. All I really need is their vocals.
And you just drop it in.
Throw it in, and then the tape is done.
Right, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, now how is it working with other artists? Because I'm guessing from the last 3 mixtapes that you did...
Which were all me.
Yeah, they were completely...
Which were all me.
There was nobody else. There was nobody else on there. So how is it working with... What's the positives and the negatives of working with people? Working with people.
One of the biggest positives, you know, aside from just, you know, like being with different types of people and seeing how they react to certain stuff, and, you know what I'm saying, trying to mix for them, and then, you know, just being a part of something bigger than only you.
Right.
Aside from being that, it's really cool as far as marketing perspectives, you know what I'm saying, because it's not just you marketing it now. Now they know they're on it, so they market it, you know what I'm saying? So that's a cool... one of the things I definitely don't like is waiting for them, which is not cool,
I can feel
you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they don't really work on the schedule I work on, which is kind of like, I mean, I'll give you like 3 days. And if you don't respond, then I'll follow up. And if you don't respond after that, well, then it's just like, I'm
going on to something new.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to sit and wait, you know what I'm saying? So... That's pretty much where it was. And then just, you know, trying to bounce something out 40 or 50 times to get a perfect mix. And then you get to like the final cut, and then you hear like a shitty mistake, and you're just like, you got to go back and bounce it back out. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody else's vocals that are just, you know, they don't sound the same, because, you know, you got to mix with different places. You got to mix, you know, for the car, you got to mix for the studios, you got to mix for the phone, you got to mix for the headphones. You know, just having all the different platforms, it just takes a lot of time. So the time was definitely a big factor in the things I don't like about working with other people.
Now with your music, now I know you're a writer, as in not only with music writing, you actually write scripts, because you're a director. If a lot of people don't know, she is a director. Yeah. She gets behind the camera. Now, are you going to try to incorporate your music into your shorts and documentaries that you do, short films, movies that you do? Or is that something you're going to kind of wait to merge those two together, because it would, I don't want to say a lot on your plate, but it would be a lot on your plate.
It would be easier in a sense that it's there and I have it, but I'm in a stage right now where I could do that and I would, but I don't feel like it right now.
Okay.
It's just one of those things where, like, I know it's going to happen because I've tried it before, you know, merging. I have a bunch of videos and things that I've shot for myself that I've put my music in, but it's just like, it's cool that I did it, but it wasn't the right time for me to do it.
Okay.
So.
Now, is there any of those projects coming up with you behind the camera or any scripts that you're writing, or is it just mainly working on music right now?
I got this one script under wraps right now, working with Keith. You probably know Keith.
Yeah.
Down in Fayetteville, and we're doing this script called A Mole, and I'm not gonna tell you what it's about, but it's coming together along. So that's solely written by him and me. Okay. And then you know, whenever that goes into production, probably like the middle of this year or something like that. That'll be pretty cool. As far as my own scripts, it's kind of like whatever comes to mind. I don't really, you know, I did so many scripts that I don't really sit and take the time to do the scripts anymore. I kind of just film and then make it a script later.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Which is not really a good tactic if you're trying to, get into the industry. But I'm not really trying to get into the industry because the industry is really gone.
Yeah, it definitely
The industry is gone without artists.
Yeah.
If there's no artists, there is no industry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
That's why people keep recreating
in
old
the
movies.
same movie.
Yeah. Like
or if they don't recreate,
if there's no creatives, it's gone.
Yeah. And then they go from we're gonna do a cartoon movie, but then we're gonna turn it into live animation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're just trying to get the most money out of what they can do because it's going downhill.
Well, not even only that. I think these other platforms such as like Netflix allows you to be creative. So they take all those. They take those.
But I mean,
like
you can only be creative for so long. You know what I'm saying? Like when things first happen. That's like the best time to. It's not even the best time to jump on it. It's the best time to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But that's with everything. That's with music and film. That's even with the bike stuff. When the bike stuff first came out, I was one of the ones that was there, and I was in the mix without knowing like it was gonna
be
huge.
What it is. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it be done throughout all the countries. You got all these people coming together. When it was just starting, like in the 2000s, I was like being a part of that and being like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
You know
That's what it is.
Like,
oh, this is a cool thing to do right now.
Cool.
Yeah. Right.
And then when everything popped off, I'm like, yeah, they're going to talk about that. Like, yo, me and my team was like, yeah, we were one of the first ones out there. You know what I'm saying? Along with, only a handful of other people from, different cities and different countries and shit like that. So that's cool, but it's always like that. Yeah. It's the same thing with, you know what I'm saying, music and new flows. The first person that does it, it's like, yeah, that was funny as hell. And then, like, when it blows up and everybody starts doing that flow, it's like, I didn't think it was going to produce all this shit with the good and the bad, you know?
The good and the bad. Woo!
Yeah.
The music now. I just can't.
It's everything.
Sometimes I don't know who it is. I got to go back and fucking
sometimes I want to go back and change my name from Young Ayo to just like Ayo, but I've been Young Ayo for so long that it doesn't. But now there's so many Youngs and Littles and fucking and like.
Now, how did you come up with Young Ayo? Was it just
So I came up. I used to live in I can't even remember the neighborhood because I moved so much as a kid. I can't even remember the neighborhood I was living in, but I was living in this neighborhood when I first got to North Carolina. And, everybody used to go outside and play at the park or whatever. It was an apartment complex. And they had like one small-ass park. And all the kids from this fucking, 3-block complex used to come into this little-ass park by the pool and play and shit. And it was so many kids that you just go out there and you'll get into something, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I first moved there, my mom, being the mom that she is, she was one of those, what the fuck you still doing in the house? Get out. Get out of my house. So, we would go outside and play and stuff like that, and nobody used to know my name.
Okay.
Because I wasn't a talker, I didn't, you think I'm shy now. Like, I'd just sit there and just be like, well, I'm outside, because in Jersey, it was different. You just go outside, you ride bikes, you do shit like that. But in North Carolina, it's a different wave.
Definitely.
In Jersey, it'll be fun as hell to, ride bicycles through the city and skateboards and shit like that. In North Carolina, you can just have a good-ass time with, 15 people sitting on a green generator. Yeah. I swear to God. Just sitting there this is some cool-ass shit.
Yo, when I came from California, we moved from California to here. Like you said, see, out in California, that's how it was. You can ride by.
You do something. You was in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
Come out here, and it was, what are we going to do? Well, we can just
let's
chill.
Just
and
be
then
together.
We just sit on a generator and just sit there.
Just chill for 15 hours a day.
Yo.
And then just be there. But having a time of your life. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. Because you think it's, in a way, it's boring, but it gives you a chance to connect with way more people on a more mental level, on a more spiritual level than going out. You could do activities and shit that never gets old, but it's it's just a different wave. You know. So.
I definitely figured that. I was just like, we're gonna play ball for an hour, and then we just sit there on a generator and just sit.
Yeah.
Until it gets all hot. what the sun go down and it's all musty and sticky
bugs
and bugs come
out. Yeah,
and then it's
and
like,
everybody's moving now.
Right.
Like, you know,
All right, see you tomorrow. Okay, and do the same thing over and over. Again. It was just,
but it wasn't like it wasn't a lot of times where I was like, this is truly and genuinely boring as fuck.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
yeah.
It was a good contrast.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's a different. Carolina's a different.
Yeah.
It's a different wave out here. It's very.
Or even just the Mid-South. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, even the mid. Yeah.
The Mid-South and even the Deep South, because they do the same shit over there.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying?
They really do. And it's. I don't know. It's just maybe.
Yeah, if you don't live in a hot city, you'll probably know that generator talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it might be just, and I don't know if it's because the South is more. I don't want to say it's family oriented. The South.
They just.
But
they lack the activities to keep people busy. So people who don't want to get into hella trouble and get fucked up by their parents. They, you know what I'm saying, just sit there and they just make fun out of what they got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's I think that's where a lot of that comes from. Cause even places in the South, like shit, you got Florida in the South, you got Atlanta in the South. You know what I'm saying? Places like that, shit, they say DC is the South. You know what I'm saying? So, but those are hot cities, which is why, you know, the activity level is so high. You know what I'm saying?
There's always something to do in those cities. Yeah, there's really not too much to do in these cities. Well, Charlotte.
Yeah, it's a hot city. It's just becoming a hot city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially
like musical artists and tours just started coming out here like a few years ago. Like that shit, North Carolina completely got flew by. Like,
it did.
Like unless in the 2000s,
unless if you were from up top and you're coming down grabbing cigarette cartons,
and taking it back up there, to sell them, to sell them, because they're like what, almost $20 a pack now.
Yeah.
Unless you were being a mule for one thing or the other. Yeah.
So now back to being at the park. So they just would. You say, hey, Young?
No. So, all right. So, back to being at the park, So, they never knew my name because I didn't, I had an older brother at the time. And, you know, he would hang with the older kids. So, there might have been 10 older kids for him to hang with, but there was 30 younger kids my age that, I just, you know what I'm saying? We just moved there. I didn't know any of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was interesting growing up because, my brother wouldn't really introduce me, you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, this is my sister. Nah, it was my mom coming outside. So this is my daughter, and, a little weird. This is how you all are going to play and have a nice time. That's how it was, you know what I'm saying? Even when I first moved to Greenwood, I would have never met any of those Coolie Gang guys unless, I remember I was outside and I was, skating or something. And my mom had this loud-ass green Dodge Durango at the time that used to just make, elephant noises coming up the street. It was so horrible. And so I remember her leaving, and she was like, I'll be right back. And I was like, where are you going? She was like, I'm going over there to those guys. And I just looked, and there was, 10 guys standing on the corner. And I'm like, why the fuck are you going over there? And I said it in my mind, but I'm like, what are you going over there for?
Right.
She hopped in the car, and she was with somebody else. I forgot who she was with. But she hopped in the car, and it was like, my mom set me up so fucking bad, right? So I didn't know. So she stopped by the guys, and then she just left. I don't know, I think she went to the store or something. And then the guy started walking towards my house. And I'm looking at them what the fuck? And they was getting closer, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened? And she was like, yeah, the lady in the car told me that you skate and you ride bikes, and you just moved to the neighborhood, and so we just came over here to chill. I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then from there on, it just kicked off. But back to the story. So it was just they didn't know my name. So they'd just be like, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's where it came from. And then over the years, it was just Ayo. You know what I'm saying? And then, that whole 2000s wave came by, and everybody had, long-ass Facebook names and shit like that.
Gosh.
And, me and my cousin were coming up with our names at the same time. So he's Young RJ, and I'm Young Ayo. So it was just the Young we took, you know what I'm saying? He took it from me. But
Right.
I took it from the Coolie Gang shit when it was Young
okay.
Fizz.
Okay.
And I was the first one who introduced me to this music shit. So I took the first name,
Right.
and then people used to call me Ayo anyway because they never knew my name.
Right.
And so I just put them together. And then over the years, people started messing up the Ayo, and like
How
they
the
would
fuck
say
they start messing up the Ayo?
it's 3 letters, and then they'd be like Ayo, and then like Ayo. And I used to be like, holy fuck, like I gotta put an apostrophe on this shit. So I put an apostrophe at the end, like say the whole fucking thing, please.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where that came from.
I'm done.
Yeah.
No, not. How do you can't
I don't know. Like
there
I thought you couldn't mess it up until last week Matt Kelly messed it up. I was doing a presentation and he was like, which is a teacher at my school, and I was doing a presentation. He was like, Young Ayo, is that how you say it? Ayo? And everybody in the class bust out laughing, and I was just like,
you're slow.
How you mess it up? Like dog, like I don't think it was hard.
No,
you know what
it's
I'm saying?
not.
It
That's
wasn't
the thing. It's not.
I don't know. I just was like, okay. Yeah.
These
so,
people, I don't get how they.
Yeah, I don't understand, but I just, sure.
Young Ayo. Now, are you ever gonna drop it? Are you just gonna keep it? Are you just gonna keep it?
No, I think I'm gonna keep it.
Right.
Because I've been rocking with it for so long. But the interesting is, a lot of people don't call me Young Ayo. They just call me Ayo anyway. So there's no point in dropping it, So it was,
Yeah. Now, people even in Jersey call you that too?
People in Jersey call, like I did. There's a lot of shit like in Jersey, like they'll call. Put it this way, people in Jersey know me.
Trust me, I know.
Like when I was small.
Yeah, I know they know.
So they all refer to me as Asia, like what's up, Asia?
Just the
and then some of them be like, especially like people who know me, they'll call me Asia, and then like people from the bike shit, they'll call me Ayo, because that's when the name first sprouted. Because I was doing rap shit before the bike stuff.
Right.
But nobody was on to my rap stuff before, and to be honest, I wouldn't have either. So. So when I came out with the bike stuff, and then, the pages start blowing up and here and there and doing, featuring in different people's videos and stuff like that. Once that happened, then it was like, oh, okay, yeah, Young Ayo. And now when they see me doing music, they're like, oh, why'd she go to music? And I was like, I was on music before the bikes, but a lot of people don't know that, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I had a feeling, I mean, I know people know you in Jersey because when we went up to Jersey that day, and they were just like, oh, I remember when you were. I'm like, oh, damn, she's. I know it's when you're in an area, you grew up in an area, people know you, but there's a lot of people I know that was born somewhere and people don't.
I mean, that's the same thing with me though.
Yeah.
I was born in Montclair.
Okay.
I can guarantee you nobody knows me in Montclair. Nobody. Because my grandparents were so strict, I never used to go out.
Right.
So when I used to go with my pops, that was like my getaway. But when I was with my pops, I never used to be with my pops. I used to just be out. You know what I'm saying? So when my pops would go work on bikes or go out riding, I used to, I grew up at the garage, basically.
Yeah.
And even a lot of the people that you met, they don't know me like that. You know what I'm saying? They know me through my pops.
Right.
She brought you around when you was young, but they don't know me. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up in West Orange.
Okay.
And then, that venturing off into South Orange and Newark. And it was just, just this whole branch of an area, you know what I'm saying, that was close to my side. Because wherever I could ride a bicycle, I was there.
Right.
If we was we was at the skate park in Livingston, I was there. If we was, we went to Orange Park, I was there. If we rode off to Newark, even though we definitely weren't supposed to be in Newark, I was there. I was bouncing around everywhere that we could ride or skate to. I was there.
Right. And Jersey isn't that big though.
Jersey is about 2-3 hours to get through, so it's not super huge.
Right.
But the thing is that the inner city is very connected. Now you get places outer, like, you know what I'm saying, once you try to go all the way down, like you get to Camden, that's, even though it's small in itself, it's still, a long ways to go. And then you got like South Jersey, and then you got like Englishtown, and then you got, what I'm saying, all these country places in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? And then you can, once you do that, you branch off into New York, and then you get to like Long Island, and then they don't think it's the same thing, but we're separated by water. We're separated by a lake.
Yeah.
And they call it a different state. You
right,
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if you can take a ferry in 15 minutes.
You're in the same.
Yeah, it's you know.
Yeah. Because I didn't know anything about Jersey until. The only thing I knew about Jersey was I knew about Camden. I knew about Camden, New Jersey because of a basketball player.
Okay.
High school baller. And Camden High School. That's why I knew. They were like #1 high school basketball team in the, I want to say the late 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember what his name was that came out of Camden, New Jersey. But that, and then the movie, is it Drive? No, it's not Drive.
Jersey Drive?
Jersey Drive.
Jersey Drive wasn't shot in Jersey.
Everybody tells you that, but
Jersey Drive wasn't shot in Jersey.
And that was
because if they would have got some real, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh man,
that was my
like
introduction. Even that was what I knew of Jersey,
Yeah.
And then when we went up there, well, the trip to Jersey, I'm a West Coast cat.
You've never, you know, I can say this because I've lived it. You're not from Jersey if you never almost got hit by a stolen car. Like, just, you know, you be outside and then you, and then you just, the car is coming. Like, out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It might not even be police behind them. They're just gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or you'll walk by and there's, like, 3 cars with lights, like, sit up on bricks. You know what I'm saying? Just all rims gone, radios out, everything gone. You might see a door missing. Like,
I'm done.
And if you leave it there for too long, everything but the engine, and maybe the engine will be gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
See, and I've heard stories like that.
Like,
I've heard stories like that about Jersey.
People will, like, if you don't know where you're at, and even if you do, sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you can go outside to your car and just find nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because it happens.
Yeah, I've seen documentaries on that about Jersey. The only time before we went up there, I went up there for a basketball. I went to Elizabethtown to play ball.
Yeah.
That was the only time. But then when we went a couple of years ago, and I don't do, look, I'm a West Coast cat. I've always been a big on, man, I'm not going up north. Like, it's too many buildings, it's too crowded, a lot of people. Like, that's just not my style. And then my cousin from Maryland told me, she was like, oh, you'd love New York. You'd fit in. I mean, you're from Cali. You'd fit in. All right. We going up to Jersey. We don't, y'all, when I tell you going up to Jersey, we couldn't even get out of the state of North Carolina, and I was taking second thoughts. I was like, look, let me tell you, I'm not about, maybe we should just turn around because we can't even get out of this state, and I'm not meant to be going to Jersey.
Because, like, the craziest thing that happened, like, we didn't even, okay, so.
Well, we was like 5 minutes on the road that day?
I don't think I even want to really go into the depths of this story because I think there's not enough camera time left. But, in short, what all started it was I fucked around and went to the store to go get something to drink, and I stole a fucking shopping cart and put it in my car.
Yeah,
so
that was
it was a small shopping cart about this big, and it was metal. And the shopping cart was possessed. So I put the shopping cart in my truck, and for the next 10 hours or so, we almost died at least 15 times.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And we couldn't even make it to the interstate, to 95. We couldn't even make it to 95
without somebody coming the wrong way on it.
We was on a highway, and there's a guy who's coming up the highway.
Mind you, it's dark.
The wrong way. Dark. And as he's getting closer, I got my high beams on.
Yeah.
The music is on 100.
Of course.
And Reggie's sitting in the passenger seat, and we're just vibing. And then I'm looking, and I'm like,
damn,
that shit's getting closer. So then I fuck around. I never do this, by the way. I turn the music down.
Yeah.
And
that's what I knew. I perked up. I was like, wait, why are you turning the music down?
I was like, is it getting closer? And he was like, yeah, they're going the wrong way. And I'm like, I'm doing 70, and they're in the exact same lane I am.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So I swerved at the last minute, and they dead ass kept going. Like, and there was nobody else on the highway with me.
Nobody.
I was like,
yeah, we would have been.
We almost got a head-on collision at 70 miles per hour.
Yes.
Into another SUV, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were good, and then we got to Jersey. We almost missed the exit.
Well, the whole way there, it was kind of like, especially riding through DC. It was mad times where we almost died. I just can't remember them. Because it just kept happening.
Yeah.
So once we got to Jersey, it was like, we almost died about 20 times. That's okay.
Yeah.
Once we got to Jersey, yeah.
We took the wrong exit. No, we didn't take the wrong exit. We took the exit at the very last minute.
First of all, if y'all don't know, my SUV, it has a gauge problem. It has a lot of problems, by the way.
We're not going to discuss
But it has a major gauge problem where I can't see how much gas is in there. Mm-hmm. So I always have to estimate. And around that time, I first got my truck. And I didn't realize the huge problems it had because, you 17.
You're just excited to get a car.
You know what I'm saying? You're just excited to get a car. So everything that's wrong with it, you don't care.
Nah,
You're like, no, fuck that shit. We're riding. We're driving. Where we going?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I made the trip to Jersey, and I knew of the gauge problem, but I didn't know how to get around it. Like, I still have the gauge problem. I still have a bunch of problems with the truck, but I know now I can calculate shit and be like... Oh, yeah, all right, well, no, I can't make that play today. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I can get around it now, but before I was just learning about it. So the reason we almost mixed the exit is because we were going across the bridge from Philly to Jersey, and we had to stop at We had to stop in Camden because the truck was about to run out of gas. So we stopped at Camden. And once we almost died about 20 times.
Take the card out.
I threw the card out, and I left it in one of the Camden gas stations. And I just, fucking broke it to pieces. Yo, it was so possessed. A shopping cart.
A shopping cart.
And I thought it was like a little funny joke. Like,
I stole this
little baby-ass shopping cart. We could put shit in here. We can make it a dolly for a camera. Like, no.
No, not again.
That shit again.
It was supposed to stay in North Carolina the whole time. Yeah. The Jersey trip New York was an experience in itself.
Yeah, so when we got there... I went straight to New York, you know what I'm saying? And we had went to...
When to go?
Were we in Harlem?
No,
we wasn't in Harlem.
No, we went to... Were we in the Bronx?
Were we in the Bronx?
I think we were in the...
I don't think we was in Brooklyn. I think we was in the Bronx.
I think we were in the Bronx. We weren't in Queens. No,
I think it was the Bronx.
It was the Bronx. Yeah, because I was like, man, my boy is from the Bronx. And it was the Bronx.
Yeah,
we went to go pick up Doobie.
It was from the Bronx. So we went there, and then we were just there for like three hours or so.
I was so tired.
And yeah, so we ended up crashing. And long story short, we got what we needed to get done in New York. We shot, did all that stuff, and then
before we came home.
Yeah,
we shot up to Jersey.
Yeah.
To see your pops.
We shot up to Jersey to see my pops, and then that's when I was supposed to have people come out, but they had already left because we had got there late because of traffic.
Yeah.
So they had already left, and they was like, "Oh, we already on the bikes." Da 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 da. So my pops was like, "All right, well, we're gonna take a little ride." I was like, "All right, cool." And then he was like, "You want your friends to come?" And I was like, I mean, they can. Like, what are you offering?
Right.
What are you offering?
What are we doing?
Yeah, I was like, well, they have like no rider experience whatsoever. He was like, nah, they're your friends. Y'all let them drive my truck. Yo, and then when he said that, I was like,
I didn't.
Oh, he's taking the biggest chance. And then he was like, he was talking to Doobie, and he was like, yeah, you're gonna drive, right? And I'm like, nope, skirt, you're gonna drive.
And I was tripping. I'm like, I'm gonna drive with him a truck.
Because I was like, okay, you're good with the camera. You already have a Honda, so y'all gonna fucking switch. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he has the Honda Ridgeline. And if y'all don't know, it looks like a dad tennis car. I always tell my pops that it looks like a tennis car. It looks like a tennis truck.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It really does.
And so he drives one of those, and
all through goddamn Jersey.
If people don't know, it's very, very. It's a sports tennis car. It's very fucking fast. So
very fast. All through Jersey. I thought I was gonna get arrested in Jersey.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna get my first.
You know, we're wheeling,
record.
we're having a good time. You know, we're just chilling. We're just getting some shots. I just wanted to get a few shots.
Oh, I had to learn sign language.
Yeah,
before we left. I had to understand the languages.
If anybody doesn't know the whole bike life thing, it's very team oriented, you know. It's very group oriented.
Everybody has to be on the same page.
Even if it's not the entire group, it's your little section.
You have to be on the same page.
Like when people go out for rides, you know, wherever you're from, you usually stay with your people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you get a lot of calls from lost people who are just with some niggas they don't know from, they're all out of town. They don't know which way they're going. They're at, like, some gas station. Somebody's got a flat. Somebody's got no gas.
Right.
The helicopters on them, and they're just looking up like, yo, my GPS isn't working right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like the horror stories, you know what I'm saying, that happen. Or, like, you get boxed in or something like that. But everybody usually stays together. So it took them a long time. Like, they almost... Him and Doobie almost ran into me and my pops a lot because they didn't know the sign language, you know. And we don't think of it as sign language. We just, you know what I'm saying? Like you get to a stop, you know, stop. Then you gotta go left, right, you know. And everybody does the shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's not like it's just one person leading. Like, you know, everybody does the shit. If there's something on the ground, people point to the ground, like just. Different things, cops, you know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of people don't pick up on that. So then, like, their first 10 minutes was like horrible. Almost them just ramming into us, and my pops was looking at me, and I was like, bro,
you don't want to let them drive?
Like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? So after that, everything, you know, they kind of got used to it, and everything was cool, you know. They was getting some cool shots, and then, I'm pretty sure we was on Grove Street. Anybody in Jersey, you know where Grove Street is. It's the famous street, like, that has, like, you would think it's about 20 cemeteries on that street, but it's only one, right? So we're going down, like, Grove Street or whatever, and we're wheeling, and I do a seat stand, you know, I think I jumped up, I did, like, scissors, and then, like, I did a seat stand or whatever. And then so I'm riding a seat stand, and the speed bump's coming up. And see, I see the speed bump. So when I hit the speed bump, I put the bike down, right? What I didn't know is that my pops' ridge line is 2 feet away from me, going like 50.
I'm going 50, 55.
And they don't see in a 35 in a truck behind them, I'm talking about like inches away from us. Like to the point where when I put the bike down, I see the camera right by my left arm, like sticking out the window.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, they are going entirely too fast. Like, they don't see this speed bump. And then as soon as
I was just worried about catching up. I was just worried about staying with you guys.
Me and my pops looked at each other for like a millisecond. And we just gave each other these looks like, they're not slowing down.
I thought your pops was going to kill me.
And so we looked behind us. As we looked behind us, it looked like fucking a monster truck, like Gravedigger was fucking jumping behind us. And you can see the underbelly of it. You can see the oil pan.
See, I didn't know I jumped that high. Look, I didn't know I jumped that high.
And we're just looking at it. And then it just fucking, like, Fast and the Furious smashes down and, like, bounces and shit.
I thought your dad was going to kill me.
And it wasn't even that. It was the fact that the guy in the passenger seat, he's not here right now, but his name is Doobie. He almost fell out the fucking car. Yeah. With his 4K camera.
Yeah.
Because he didn't notice the speed bump fast enough, just like we didn't notice it. And when the fucking truck jumped, he stops at the stop sign after. And he just looks at the window. He's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what
I'm sorry.
I didn't know.
My fault, bro. My fault. And my pops is just like, he broke something. And I'm like, he probably fucking broke something. And so we was laughing at the shit or whatever. You know, long story short, we was laughing at it or whatever. Like, it wasn't too big of a deal, but it was just seeing that shit like,
it was a
he's
Honda.
Gonna kill somebody. You know
I was
what
in
I'm
a
saying?
Honda. I felt like I was in my own car. I was whipping it. I just didn't.
Not that way. Like, he jumped that shit. And I was just like, all right.
Jersey was fun, though. I enjoyed that whole trip. I enjoyed that whole time in Jersey. Yeah. For that, we was there for 2-3 hours?
you know, they did the specials. I took him to the Chinese spot by my pop's garage, which is like China King, which is like the world famous. It's not world famous, but everybody in West Orange knows what I'm talking about. That one China King that sits on Valley Street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
took him there, had him eat there. And then shit, we was just chilling after that.
Yeah, that shit was fun. So, I enjoyed Jersey. Jersey was for that 3-4 hours we was there. That shit was fun as hell.
Yeah, and after that shit, we shot back to we shot back to New York, and after New York, we had left out.
Yeah.
And then it was just all hell broke loose.
All hell broke loose. All hell, bro! I'm telling you, when we took that exit.
It was.
I thought we were. I shit you not. I thought we were gonna turn.
Put it this way, guys. I think even when I first got my truck, I always thought I was the shit because I was a rider. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I still think I'm the shit as far as driving. I think I'm a fucking damn good driver.
Yeah.
But when your vehicle is not up to par with your motor skills, it doesn't work. So. My truck was literally falling apart. Like, it was, me and my truck have a close connection. That's Sonny, if y'all didn't know. My truck's name is Sonny.
Yeah.
And Sonny. And so as we're driving, you know, the gas gauge starts fucking up. So I'm like, okay, we need gas. We need to pull over somewhere, right? And then, like, it's like 8 o'clock. It's getting dark. You know, like a summer is 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm doing about 70. The gas gauge starts going down. And I tell everybody in the car, you know, they're not listening.
I was listening. He was asleep.
Half of them are half asleep, and half of them are so musically inclined. Not even musically inclined. They just been listening to music for like the past 6 hours already.
Yeah.
So they're just drowned out. You know what I'm saying? They're in a maze right now. They're in the vortex, right? So with the sound waves, you know, they start seeing them. So I'm there, and like I announced to the car because, you know, I want to be a good driver, and I'm like, yo, so we have approximately, I look at the gauge and I'm reading the shit, and in my fucking mind I'm doing calculations in mathematics. I say we have about 3 minutes and 30 seconds to get to a gas station, or this car is gonna run out of gas.
And then we just passed the exit too?
So yeah, we just passed the exit, right? So then the gas gauge goes back up. So I'm like, oh, okay.
We're good.
No, I don't think we're good. I think we still need the gas, but the gas gauge, like, the thing about the truck is that the gas gauge will fluctuate until it's all the way empty.
Yeah.
Because when it's empty, the dot will come on, the red, the orange dot. When the orange dot comes on, you know you got to get to a gas station quick. But if it's just fluctuating, it fluctuates all the time.
And the battery's going dead. Oh, I'm sorry.
Fuck, man. So he just spoiled the shit. So anyway, I'm driving or whatever, and the gas gauge starts fluctuating. So I'm like, fuck, all right, we got to get to a gas station. We got about 3 minutes. And then the gas gauge goes back up, and I'm like, okay. So then after that, like 15 seconds after that, the headlights shut off.
Was it the headlights that shut off first?
At like 8 o'clock. So when the headlights shut off, I'm like, fuck, I can't see anything. Yeah. So right then and there, I'm like, well, it's nice knowing everybody. I call my mom. I call my mom, bro. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, man.
Matter of fact, no, I call my pops first. I call my pops.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, the truck's about to stop working. I just wanted to tell you. So the gas is probably going to run out, and the battery's going dead. The headlights just shut off, and we're driving at about 80, 70 miles per hour on a tiny 3-lane highway, basically the interstate. And, yeah.
I love you guys.
And right when I say that, right, he's like, well, where are you at? I'm like, we're somewhere in Maryland. He's like, that's kind of far. I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, there's not really much I can do right now because I have work tomorrow. I'm like, all right, fair enough. Then I call my mom. And as I call my mom, my whole dashboard goes out. It goes black. But the truck's still driving.
Yeah, we're cruising
so I cut the music off, and the whole dashboard goes out. So I call my mom, and I'm like, yeah, so we might be running out of gas. I'm not sure about that one. But what I am sure about is that this truck's going to die, and we have approximately 50 seconds left for my calculations that everything's going to go to shit. And my mom's like, where you at? I'm like, around Maryland, D.C. area. That's kind of far. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, well, if it does go out, see if you can get a hotel around. Are we going fucking, like, cherry picking? Like, I'm on the hot. She's like, well, just see what you can do. So I hang up and I'm like, okay. So as I say that, no one in the car responds to me. So now I say it out loud to everybody. Yeah, so we have about 45 seconds before this truck stops. And then Doobie gets up. You kind of get up a little bit. And nobody says anything. And so I'm behind the wheel. Now I got two hands on the wheel. Because I don't know what the fuck is going to happen in the next 30 seconds. Because I can feel the acceleration giving out. And it's like, right? So I'm like, we're going to die. This is fucked up. Right?
Yeah.
So then here's what you don't know about Chevys. So when the truck dies, the brakes lock.
Oh, man.
So there's no brakes.
Yo.
And my you know, the emergency brake doesn't work. It was pulled out like a year ago. And so was the AC brake lock or whatever like that. You know, the brake lock for the truck. So that was gone. And so there's no way of stopping this vehicle. And we're doing 70. And we have a lot of cars behind us. So I just brace for impact. And I'm just sitting there and I can't slow the truck down. So now I gotta wait. I can't get off at any exits because I can't slow down. Yeah. And so when the truck gets about 40 miles per hour, we have people behind us almost hitting us. And then by the time it got to 20 miles per hour, we were cruising down a hill.
Yeah.
So I took the first exit I could see.
Yeah.
Not knowing that this exit was going to put us on the darkest road I have ever seen in D.C.
And the worst neighborhood.
In the worst neighborhood. In one of the worst neighborhoods right by the RFK Stadium.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we're cruising down the street at about 8:20. And we almost got hit coming off the exit. There's no way to stop this car. So if anybody knows that parking lot right by RFK Stadium, we parked right there. Right on the right shoulder. It was like a little it was like weird. It was supposed to be barricaded off, but people came around there doing dumb shit, which is why we know we was in a fucked up part of the neighborhood. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, well, okay. So I'm like, okay, we're on the road by ourselves. At least we can't get hit by anybody. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm trying to stop the truck. So I think pulling over to the right side is a good idea because, we're off the road, right?
Yeah.
And I forget again that there's no brakes. So now we're going about 15 miles per hour and we're headed straight for yellow barricades. Not like the orange ones, which are like filled with water and shit. No, like the yellow, the concrete ones.
Yeah, the metal concrete.
And there's no way to stop this car. And now, when we have 5 seconds left, this is when everybody wants to wake the fuck up and act like none of the past 5 minutes have happened. And they're just like, yo, you gonna stop? Stop. I can't. Yeah. So fucking, who's in the passenger seat?
No, Doobie was.
I think he tried to pull the emergency brake or something, and I'm looking at him like, this shit doesn't fucking work. Like, this shit don't work, nigga. So I'm sitting there, and I just fucking, like, I think I let go of the steering wheel, and I grabbed the oh shit bar, and I grabbed, like, the door, and I just fucking, like, 2 feet karate kick the brakes, and, like, hold that shit there. I probably almost broke the lever. Yeah. And I just held it there. And then the car just slowly fucking inched towards like a fucking movie. And it stopped like 6 inches right before the concrete barricades. And we got out the car and we were just sitting there like, what the fuck? What just happened? Yeah. And so, we were just sitting there and like, we all got out the car. And it was so crazy. Nobody said anything.
Nobody said a word.
Nobody said a word.
Nobody said a word.
And we just all casually got out the car and went and sat on the yellow barricades that we almost hit.
And just tried to figure shit out.
And just was there. And then that's when
the car.
Thank you, DC. Yeah. You feel me? RFK Stadium. That's when we were getting shot at. So we just, you know what I'm saying, basically crash landed in this fucking city. And now we got race cars coming into that parking lot. And so I'm thinking like, oh, like it's Jersey. Like people do that and they just come and do donuts. They might do insurance jobs or something, you know, just you know, do stupid shit there.
Right.
No, these guys had guns and they just was like
just shooting.
Like, you know what I'm saying, out the window for no, like they were sitting on the car and just shooting.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I was with 2 military people at the time. So they all did the military stance and shit.
Yeah,
I was the nigga who didn't want my damn truck to get shot up.
Yeah, she worried about
her truck. So I'm like, yo, I get it. My life is very valuable, but what the fuck am I gonna tell my parents if my truck gets shot the fuck up? Yeah. And not only that, we have so much equipment. We have equipment we have equipment rentals from the school. Yeah. We have at least $10 grand worth of equipment in the car. Yeah. I have my like $500 worth of bike shit, like bike racks. Yeah. I have my bicycle. I have my skateboard. I had fucking my amps. I had the truck itself. We had all of our personal shit in the truck. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Which is I don't even know how you were sitting in the back seat because there was. I think you slept. Sure. You slept on somebody's suitcase. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I did.
So all that shit in the truck, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So we all hide behind the truck. When they stop shooting and they turn off and they leave, we think they're coming back. Like we think they see us. Yeah. So we sprint to the other side of the highway, and now we're just in this big ass field with this one light, and all you can see is like thousands of bugs under this one light, and we're just in the middle of the shit, trying not to get shot, right? So mind you, our wallets, phones, chargers, all that shit is still in the truck, and we're just across the highway. The highway now.
What made it so bad is I forgot. I forgot we was even in DC. My mind got so thrown off. I forgot we was even in DC.
So we're getting shot up, and we're you know what I'm saying, like there are areas getting shot the fuck up, right? And everybody's like, oh, I ain't gonna, like this hotel shit that ain't gonna work. All of our shit's here. Like, what we gonna do? We're trying to come up with a fucking master plan, right?
My fault.
So Reggie's sitting there. He's the quietest one. He's the quietest fucking one, right? Quiet as a church mouse. I'm talking for God's sakes. And I'm like, I have no eyebrow. Like, you guys heard verbatim what the fuck my parents said. You know what I'm saying?
I so forgot, yeah.
Doobie's like, we're not in New York. Like, I don't have clout here. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just, and we're going back and forth. And then out of nowhere, Reggie's just like, well,
I can call my uncle right now.
I got an uncle who might live close to here, but I don't know. You ain't want to say that fucking like 5 minutes ago. Yeah. He got us all stressing out. So he gets on the phone. He calls his uncle, and like an hour later, his uncle pulls up in a BMW, small ass BMW, very nice, very petite, very sensual, right? You know, very updated, very modeled, right? And then he pulls up in a BMW, and right off the back, he's just an asshole. He's just a complete asshole. Like, and they weren't mad because it wasn't their fucking shit. It wasn't their truck that's just getting pawned away to the streets of DC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they're all like, damn, thank you for coming. I'm like, yeah, thank you for coming. What's gonna happen to my truck? Like, I have all this shit. Like, this is my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so everybody's like, we're getting saved. I'm like, dog, I would sleep with this bitch right now. Like, this is my truck. You know what I'm saying? So they were just making jokes to me the whole time. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, dog.
I so forgot we were in, I don't know why I forgot we were in DC.
We ended up pulling up. They have a big ass mansion or a fucking house on the hill. And so we go there, you know, and
it was chill.
That was good. You know, yeah. We was up until about 3 a.m, just sitting there talking, getting, you know, just tuning in with his family and stuff.
Right,
so that's why I think the trip was necessary, because we met everybody's family.
Yeah.
Like, we met Dude's family, we met my family.
You
and
know what?
We just
now that
had to meet your family.
You know what had to happen.
You know what I'm saying?
Now that you said that, that's crazy. It just had to happen that way.
Everybody had to meet everybody's family.
Yeah.
So,
damn, I just now realizing that. That is crazy.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like intermediate family. Like, no, we had to meet each other's extended family to know, to learn more about each other and where the hell we came from. Because that is ridiculous. So,
that is bugged. I'm just now realizing that's crazy.
So when that happened, I was just like, all right, well, cool. And the whole night I was just praying that my truck was going to still be there tomorrow.
And it was.
Right? So
we get a battery.
I went there tomorrow. Yeah, I got a battery. I put it in the truck. The truck was running like shit. So
not when we got the battery though. When we got the battery, it was running good,
like
right?
Shit. No,
it was still running like shit.
Remember, Doobie was in the truck with me. You were in the truck with your cousin.
Oh
and
yeah.
I had to race to his uncle's house. I got a $300 ticket because I ran a light or something like that because the truck was gonna shut off. Yeah. And so the whole time I'm driving the truck like a stick shift. You know, I'm going down to third, second, first. Now I'm in neutral, revving it, because it's going to shut off. So now I'm in drive. Now I'm in fucking, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm, like, fucking the transmission up the whole way. Yeah. And then after a while, Doobie, what time is it? All right, give us like 10 minutes. All right, thanks. So after a while, Doobie just looks at me. He's like, he's in the passenger seat. He just looks at me like, I can't help you anymore. I mean, not like you were helping me before, but you were being my co-pilot. Like, shit, you was watching out with traffic and, you know, making stupid jokes to get my mind off this bullshit that's going on. And then he just looked at me and was like, you don't need me anymore. And I was like, dog, what the fuck are you? He just went to sleep. Now he's asleep in a car that I'm like, yo, I'm doing all this shit. So he's asleep. And so that's when I ran the light, because I didn't see it. If he was awake, he would have told me. But that's not his fault. That's my fault, because I ran it. But anyway, so he was asleep. And then after that, we got to the house, and we packed all the shit up, and we were on the road again.
No, remember we went to go get that.
I'm saying, we was on the road again. And we didn't get about 20 minutes from the house before that battery went out. So then we had to stop in an AutoZone to get another battery. Then we had to stop at another AutoZone and get another battery before we left the state. Now, as we're like in Virginia, everybody's.
I thought we were in North Carolina that time.
We was in Virginia. It was another. The main one was in Virginia, because remember the police was everywhere.
Yeah, that is
right. So we was in Virginia, right? Now we made it to Virginia. Mm-hmm. And we're a day behind schedule, by the way. We all had class, all missed class.
Yeah.
Right. So, we're in Virginia. And I'm just trying to get us all home.
That's it. We're just trying
everybody else, now at this point, everybody's sleeping. Yeah. You're sleeping, Doobie's sleeping. Everybody thinks it's all fun and games. Everything's good. We're good now. We're getting home. I turn the music off. And people open their eyes. And I'm like, we have 2 minutes to get to a gas station.
Doobie was still asleep, though.
Doobie was still asleep, yeah. I was like, we have 2 minutes to get to a gas station, or we're going to have this problem again. And we're doing like 70.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of the day, like 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I was like, and my phone, because the part of the thing about the battery is that we couldn't have anything plugged up. So matter of fact, I don't even think we had any music on. There was no music on. Nobody had their phones plugged up. Mm-hmm. Nothing could be messing with the juice from the battery at all, except the engine. The windows couldn't go up and down. The wipers, the lights couldn't be on. Nothing, because otherwise we were not getting back. So nobody had their phones charged. Yeah. Everybody's phone was about to die. My phone was on 3% when I tried to GPS the nearest AutoZone.
Yeah.
And my GPS wasn't working because my phone was on 3%.
Right.
The only person's phone was decently charged, which your phone was like at 23%.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. So he's back there trying to GPS. And he's just, I'm in the front freaking out. Cause
I was calm.
No, they were too calm for me because I'm a calm person. But after a while, when nobody realizes that the shit's turning upside down, I kind of get freaked out. Do they trust me so much? Because they shouldn't trust me so much.
I did, though.
Because this is going very bad, very quick, and I'm just driving like.
I trusted her. I had mad trust in her.
We have 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
I don't know where these mathematics and calculations are coming from, but we have 1 minute and 45 seconds left. I'm just looking at the way the gauge is going down.
And I said we can make it. We only got like 3 miles to go.
First of all, he couldn't even get the. He's like, you know how, yo, if y'all don't know him, he's sitting in the back. He's got his fucking phone, and he's like, so where are we going again? He's like, they got an auto Vans like 10 minutes from. No, we need an auto zone now. And he's like, okay, wait, I gotta put that in. And Doobie's still asleep right beside me, and I'm like, we're gonna fucking die. Like, we're gonna die, right? So then he's like, oh, okay, I got it. Yo, you won't believe this. There's 1.3 miles away. I'm like, fuck yeah, 0.3 miles away, we're gonna make it. And then we pass like 4 exits.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, bro, we did a 0.3 miles 5 miles ago, 6 miles ago, 7 miles ago. And now the gauge is past quarter, and it's just, woo, like the earth is spinning. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? He's like, it's right here, right here, right here. As he says that, let me paint the picture. I'm speeding. So I'm doing about 85, 90.
Yeah.
On this highway in Virginia. There's nobody else on the road but me. There's a cop in the crevice, because you know how they like to hide in Virginia.
Yeah.
There's a cop in the crevice right after the exit, and the exit is right here, but it's a 25 miles per hour exit. And we're just about to pass. I'm talking about like we're probably 3 feet away from the exit doing 85.
Yeah.
So this is how Doobie woke up. So I'm like, we're gonna die. I just say that in my head, like, we're all getting fucked up. I don't know why these people trusted me to drive there and back on my own. Like, fuck that. I barely knew him at the time, by the way. Like, this is like, I knew him for about 6 months.
Yeah.
When we took this trip.
Facts.
So I just nail it hard, right? And fucking, like, everybody in the car was like this, right? Everybody in the car was sliding. And I swear to God, this is the funniest shit I ever remember, bro. Doobie, he wakes up, he's like this. he wakes up in the fucking turn, like this, right? And I'm doing, I took that 25 miles per hour turn.
Yeah.
The tires were skipping out. The truck almost flipped over.
Yeah. And
I took the turn at about 50. I couldn't slow down fast enough.
Yeah. And then it slowly
came back. And then, that's not it. The truck, as soon as we got, because the truck was on a lean, so all the, whatever gas it had left, or whatever was the juice, it started going out. So the truck started giving out by the time we got around the bend. So once we got around the bend, there was a divider to get to AutoZone. Yeah. So I jumped the fucking divider to get across the street and through the wrong way.
And it was just right there off the exit.
So it was just right there off the exit. So I'm just gunning it into the fucking AutoZone parking lot. People are looking at me like, yo, what the fuck
is
right?
going on?
So I just fucking turned the wheel. As soon as I turned the wheel, the whole truck gave out. And it just stopped. Yeah. And it was perfectly parked in a fucking AutoZone parking lot. I didn't know if the cop was coming. Everybody jumped out. And I was just like, so who's going in there to get the core charge for the battery? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then from there, we made it home on that battery.
Yeah, we made
it home that day.
Yeah, we was good that day. After we got that battery, it was good.
And then by the time we got back home, the battery was toast again. So then I had to go back a few days later. But after that, the trip was already over. So it was like, fuck it, you know. But yeah, that's leaving a lot of shit out, by the way.
Yeah, a lot. You know, that there is probably one of the greatest memories I've ever had living to this day. Like, I will never forget. Yeah. I will never forget that trip. Everything from the ups to downs.
That trip was so crazy, bro. Like.
Yeah, that trip was bananas.
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoyed it, but I want to say thank you.
Yeah.
Well, for letting me get here to where I'm at now in my life because I really didn't think we were gonna ever come back from New York that day.
Yeah.
I really told myself that I should have never been a California kid.
Good drivers should have good vehicles. This should be a match made in heavy. This is
Yeah, but thank you, Young Ayo, for being on my podcast. FlyBy. Is there any shout outs? Anything you need to say? Follow you on your IGs. What's coming out?
Follow me on Instagram, Young_Ayo419, YouTube, Young Ayo Productions, Spotify, Young Ayo, Facebook, Young Ayo, everything else, Young Ayo. If it doesn't look like me, it's probably not. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Young Ayo Productions, which is my production company once I pay for it. And shout out Third Eye Multimedia. Shout out Dreams in Motion. Shout out all the people, all the people out there watching.
Everybody that's watching.
Bike Life, Cooler Gang, even though they're not together no more. Shout out everybody, man.
Everybody that gets up and goes to their
Shout
grind.
out my favorite artist, bro. Like, I appreciate y'all.
Who, you?
No, I'm not my favorite artist. Shout out my favorite artists.
Okay.
In every sense, not just music, but like.
And when do you think when you think the mixtape's gonna drop again? And the name of it to let them know.
It'll probably drop on Dat Piff in the next week or so, and it's gonna be called The Land of the Feds.
Land of the Feds. Y'all heard that.
And then it'll probably drop on Spotify and whatever else, like another week or so after that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Once again, I appreciate it, Young Ayo. We out. Peace, universe.